How it feel to be a dad, how it feel to be a man. You provide by any means, and we sticking to the plan. Yeah, I do this for my seed. Come and listen, come and see. Remember, it was just me. Now it's all about we. Lead by example. This for my child. I swear that I got you for life. Went from the court to talking about buckets. Now we talking Pampers and wipes. I really love this though. Look at you and get inspired. You the fuel to my fire. Come here, let me change your diaper. Diaper dash.
Diaper Dad fam, what is good? We are back again for another episode. Shout out to everyone that are listening. Shit, let me start over. My bad. I'll say you don't have to do it. Just cut it. You're just gonna be able to cut it and start off again. 3, 2, 1. Diaper Dad fam, what is good? We are back again, coming to you guys live and direct. Shout out to everyone that is in the car, wherever you guys are listening to us in your headphones. We appreciate you guys. And first and foremost, shout out to everyone that's listening to us on YouTube, following us. What's good, man? This is your co-host, GQ. And we also got Boog. He's in the building. What's good?
What's poppin', man? What's going on? Everything's good. Once again, just to piggyback off of that, thank you everybody who's been tuning in for the last 2 seasons. I know we got some old faithfuls out there, so we definitely appreciate y'all love and support. But I mean, hey, we're in the last half of the year.
Yeah, shit. 2021 is basically like over. Like we were just talking about that the other day, like how fast the year has gone by, and we're basically almost about to be in the middle of November. Thanksgiving is right around the corner. And
your crazy shit about it is that remember in 2020, everybody was like, 2021 is our year. You blink and that shit is over with, bro. Like,
yeah, everyone was like, 2021 is gonna be so much better, Facts. And it was. This year was a lot better than last year.
Anything could have been better than last year, but yeah, it definitely was a ride. I mean, just the growth, the experience, because like now we never really experienced parenthood. Well, for some of us, like for me, for instance, I didn't start, like I'm just now starting traveling again. It's been almost 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so I really get to get get put in motion when it's like, okay, cool. We're taking a trip here. I'm going here. I'm going there. Like tomorrow I'm going to New York. Like this is what I get that what is it? That breath of fresh air. I can't.
Gotcha. Is that really parenting, or is it just you enjoying yourself?
It's not necessarily. It's both, because it's not necessarily parenting. It's not really necessarily enjoying myself, but it's identifying when I'm able to take a break and when I need a break, and being able to go do something and focus on myself to come back a better me. You know what I mean? Like last time I went home.
Yeah. That's why I was saying is a parent, because you said it was parenting. I wouldn't really consider it parenting. I was considered more like self-care.
Yeah, but self-care is a part of parenting, bro. You know that. Just I
know that. I don't know if that's actual fact. Because self-care, because there's people out there. Self-care is you taking care of yourself. Like it doesn't have to do with parenting. It could be you having to do a real demanding job, right? You can have a real demanding job and you never get to do anything for yourself. People are like, self-care for yourself. Go get a pedicure, go get a massage, go do a bunch of stuff for yourself.
So let me ask you a question. So if you're around the clock, you with your kids 24/7, and you say I need a break just for my kid to come back a better me, that's not self-care. I mean, that's not part of parenting.
No, I wouldn't consider that part of parenting.
Oh, well, I guess we think different now.
I'm just going off your statement that you say.
No, but what I'm saying is it's a part of parenting, because you're going to need breaks throughout parenthood. There's going to be times where you've hit the wall. Like too much of your kids is not always good, and the only way to get a break is by self-care. So it goes hand in hand.
There you go.
Oh yeah, okay. Now that you got that clarified, we got that out the way. God. Can't do sometimes. Anyway, so tonight we're going to talk about expectations. So a little background on why we talk about this tonight. So I've been going around here in this house. Our kids are now 2.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been finding myself using the phrase "y'all don't pay rent around here" a lot. And hold on,
To the kids?
Oh yeah, 100%. I don't give a fuck. It's like, y'all motherfuckers don't pay no bills around here, bro. Yeah, y'all don't have. There's no. So then it started getting me thinking. It was like, okay, there's got to be some type of structure in the house. Like we can't just be letting our kids just run wild. I get that. I get that they're two. Prime example. Bo, for some reason, likes to. I'm in the playroom right now. I'm looking at everything that he picks up that has toys in it. He just likes dumping everything out, right?
Yeah.
I get that too, because he's two. That you're just exploring yourself. I get that.
Yeah.
When we leave, when they leave, my ass is stuck cleaning up the mess. So I finally had enough of it. I was like, listen, anytime we're getting ready to leave the room, we need to clean up before we leave. Because I'm spending 20 minutes of my time breaking my damn back. You know I'm big as shit. I'm breaking my back, picking up everything, cleaning up all the stuff around here. So
which is normal though.
Which is normal. Not a problem. Which is not a problem. However, I know my kids have an understanding, and I know that they can. They're very structural kids because we kept them on a plan from day one because it was just easy for us. You know what I'm saying? Like we always kept them on schedule with shit. So, and I know they're smarter than what people think. So okay, cool. So now I got this thing where I play cleanup time song. This fucking Barney clean up on my phone, and everyone knows that's going to be the new sound that you need to listen to when it's time to clean up before we go upstairs.
Gotcha.
So some people think that I'm being, they're two. I get that they're two, but it's like, when is it too early to introduce some type of structure in your child's life? So like, I know for a fact there's just certain shit that Shane expects of Nova Rose to do, and there's certain things that Jasmine expects of Nova Rose to do. You know what I mean? When do you feel comfortable like starting to give them more responsibility in their day-to-day life?
Well, I think the biggest thing is like, yeah, it's good to, implement structure or whatever you want to implement, but you got to remember they're just kids. So at the end of the day, if you're like, yo, pick this up and they don't pick it up, they just don't pick it up. You know what I mean? Like, you might get upset, but it's like, all right, like they'll learn eventually. You know what I mean?
I get that.
Go ahead.
But what I'm saying is though, if there's a certain routine that you have with Nova Rose, right? That you just, now she's two, she's understanding, she's talking now. So, You know what I mean? There are certain things that happen within routine. What if there's something you want to implement in that routine, right? So like I'm saying, like, for instance, back to Bo, like I'm not asking you to clean up your toys every time. I don't need you to take one thing out, pull one thing back. You're not going to get that. However, what I am going to say is when we leave a space, we have to clean the space up before we leave. Now, am I wrong for? Let's just flip the conversation. So, am I wrong for doing that, or am
I can't say if you're wrong or you're right, because that's your parenting. I think it's just, I think at the end of the day, once you just be a leader about it, they'll eventually just grasp onto it. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, kids are all different. There's going to be some kids that just don't do things, right? That's just it.
Yeah,
but what do you like? You know what I mean? Like, there's always a next step to it. Because, like, for example, the kids that are bad in school, right? Really bad. There was times where their parents is like, hey, yo, you got to do this. They're like, no. You got to do this. They're like, no. Right? So, kids different. They come a dime a dozen. Niggas is different. Niggas is brought up different. So all I can say is, it just takes time, especially at 2, because like, the whole making the bed situations, I want over to make the bed, and some days she just doesn't make the bed with me, which is cool. You know what I mean? But all that I know is there's some days she's like, yo, daddy, let's make the bed. Boom. She got it. That's good.
So in the days that she doesn't make the bed, right?
Yeah.
Do you let her just go, or do you?
Yeah, I just let her go now. I just let her go, like, because at first I was just like, nah, you got to do it, but now I'm just like, yo, she too, yo, like, she'll get it. Like, once I see if I say something And then maybe without me saying it, she does it. I already know she understands. Like the other day, we were about to go for a walk. She's like, yo, clean up. I'm good.
That's the thing. And that's what I'm trying to.
I'm good.
And that's the thoughts that I'm battling, right?
Yeah.
Because.
But you got to, like, the same way you do, like I'm going to give you another example. You got to be disciplined. Like the same way y'all do the potty train is the same way y'all got to do everything.
Exactly. Else. So now it's like, but it's like conflicting though, because it's to a point where it's like, so like the other night, the kids are in here, we're playing. Ashley, the kids like to stretch. Ashley works out while they play over here. They like to go over to the gym and then like to stretch where when Ashley's down, like they have like a stretch routine, they do all that shit together. So Ashley lets them out. And then I'm like, cool, everybody's clean up. And for some reason, I don't know why this word no is like a fucking, I can't stand it. Well, they told me no. So I picked their ass up, I brought them back into the playroom and I closed the gate. So the one child that I was holding was
definitely started crying.
Oh, they immediately lost their shit. The one child I was holding was Bo, because Bo has this temper. He has the worst tantrums right now. So like his terrible twos is like, if it's like 1 to 10, he's like a fucking 12. He'll pan out when he gets older, but right now it's like with speech, everything. He just doesn't. He's a very emotional person.
Yeah, for sure.
So I was holding his ass. I was holding him purposely because I didn't want him to like pick something up and throw it as I was cleaning it up. But some people, and Ash was like, you're being too hard on him. Like, you know what I mean? Like, put him down. You don't have to hold him, which is true. And I completely agree with her on that. But what I will say is that if you don't want to do it, I guess this is just me thinking, y'all ass is going to sit in this room until I'm done cleaning up, right? So you
might be a little bit harsh on them. Because you got to remember though, yo, they too. So like they don't really understand the whole. They don't really understand the whole grasp of like, yo, if daddy wants me to do something and I don't do it, it's a bad thing. Like they don't really know that yet. You know what I mean?
So why is it so? Why? And I've talked to other dads about shit like this. So like, where it's like when it comes to like disciplining your child and implementing instruction and shit like that. Yeah. Some dads out there think the same way I do. And why do we naturally like become as the like, not the aggressor, more so of we need to get your act together quick, right?
Because we don't have patience. That's why. And that's what I always say that. That's one thing about women that's kind of like the better attribute than men. They have patience. That's in their body. Like they got the patience. And the same thing I told about my buddy that just had his baby at the gym. You know, a great dad is a patient dad, right? Because like there's so many dads that like, yo, they're going through the same thing you did. And you got to remember, yo, there's parents that get to another stage. Just think about kids that's like sneaking out the house, not listening, not doing their homework, getting bad grades. There's so many times where like you got to be patient, right? You want to implement it and be like, yo, you got to do this. If you don't do this, you got to be out the house, or you can't do this. But yo, there's so many times men just have to be patient. And I think that's something that we just don't have because we go ahead.
Okay. I'm sorry, no, go
ahead.
No, finish your thought because I got another question for you, but just finish your thought.
No, that was basically it.
So because I don't have patience, that doesn't make me a great father?
No, I think for you to be a great father, you have to have patience.
So if I don't have patience and I have everything else, does that not make me a great father?
I don't think so. I think so because I feel like all great fathers have patience. They have to have patience, yo.
Okay, so devil's advocate, everyone has patience, right? But I know there's at times where GQ steps outside his character. There's time it happens to all of us. You know what I'm saying?
Like definitely.
Sometimes I'll be in his house like you little, you know what I mean? Like, and I try to be, because I have a child who picks up on vibes quickly. Like he can pick up on your vibe and you don't have to say a word to him, right? I try to watch my tone and like the way, not necessarily my tone, because at the end of the day, that's just a part of me, but the way I come into a room, you know what I mean? Like, we're going to be joking, you know what I mean? Laughing. Like, and I always try to keep myself in that mind frame of him. Like, we're gonna be best friends, but then damn, still your parent. You know what I mean? Like if I catch you doing wrong, we gotta have a conversation about it. And so when it comes to my patient level, sometimes I just step out of those meetings. You know what I mean? But do I have to have patience 24/7 when it comes to those times where it's like, all right, I know this is a slow grind, right? So like when it comes to me implementing cleanup time at the time right after we're done in the basement, go upstairs, whatever. You know what I mean? Am I not patient enough because I'm making my kids sit in the room, or like trying to teach them that, listen, we got to clean up before we go upstairs. If you guys want to clean up, you want to sit down here until I'm done. Is that me being too harsh?
Like I said, I really can't say. I can't tell you if it's harsh or not, because you got your way of parenting it, and other people had their different ways of parenting. But what I always say is there are only two.
So that's what I'm saying. So it's like,
hold on. Let me think about this. Do you think they understand the whole concept? If you drop something and you break it, like that's like really, really, really bad. You think they understand that? They might look at you and be like, okay, this is different, but you think they understand?
Not necessarily as bad, but they know
it's different. Yeah, they know the feeling. They know the feeling is different.
It's different for every kid. Like I know, like Bo, I was telling you about his tantrums and shit. He because he can't speak, he went through this bad phase of throwing stuff. So he shows his emotions physically, right? So like, yeah. I throw a toy across the room, I'm mad. I'm throwing daddy's phone, I'm mad.
His way of communication,
right? So now we're trying to break that habit. But now it's like, sometimes you get to a point where he'll stare at you dead in your fucking eyes. It's like a stare down, like in the Wild Wild West movies. And he'll stare at you and he'll just like do some shit like this and knock some over. And it's like, all right, okay, I get that you're two and you don't know.
I hate that, yeah.
But see, that's what I'm saying. So it's like you know, but that's my exact point right there, is that are we not giving them enough credit for what they know? Because it's like, okay, daddy.
That's a tough question.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like Nova Rose does something, right? And she genuinely knows she fucked up, right? Say you get on her about something, not even get on her, just, hey Nova, this is not what we do around here, whatever. But then the next time around, she's like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna piss daddy off, and I'm gonna stare at him while I do it. And then I'm looking at him with a blank look to see if he'll, like, Bo, I'm telling you, he will look at you dead in your face with a blank stare, not move a muscle, but he'll do some shit like this, like in the movies. He'll just knock some over, and you'll just be like, oh my God, like you'll lose your fucking mind. But it's like, I know you know what I'm talking about, bro. I know for a fact you know what I'm talking about. So why do I have to just be lenient on you because you're two, versus when I know for a fact that, Negro, you know what you did.
So what is the next step then? Right?
It's different.
Like to me, like, I know parents don't do this. My next step is always like spanking kids. That's my next step. And I know Jasmine's like, yo, don't say that, this, that, and the third, but that's definitely like my next step.
Ashley is the same exact way. I don't know what it is, but I'm a believer. I'll be tapping butts. I don't spank. I'll tap you at, like, prime example. This boy went through a phase of biting people, and I think he changed after I got his ass. But he went through a phase of biting people. He tries to play this who balls is bigger game with me, right? And I hate the fact that I talk about my son in this light, because he's a great child. It's just that it's just like you said.
He has a different way of communication. That's all.
Right now, so it's different.
Right now,
but he bit me one time. I said, "Bro, you got one more fucking time to bite me." He bit me, and I went out of my way, and I bit his ass back. I didn't leave any teeth mark, but he wasn't bruised or anything. People out there. He wasn't bruised.
Man, Law's wild.
He wasn't bruised or anything like that. But what I say is, I bit him gently, and it
just to show him, like, yo, this is what it feels like.
This is what's gonna happen. Ain't been bit since. I bit my mother.
That's the good thing about having a father figure. Right. And I always believe, like, because the women have so many patience and they're able to tolerate so many things, they kind of let some things like pass by.
That's what I'm saying. It could be like almost like bad in a sense.
Oh, definitely. I think so. I think it's definitely, I think no knock to, women out there raising their kids and their single mothers, no knock. But sometimes I feel like they might not have some of that discipline, or sometimes they might not have some of that structure, because men bring that to a household. I definitely believe that. And they should bring that to a household, because, you want to implement, a good foundation. And not saying women don't want to implement that either. I'm not saying that neither, but they got so much other things to worry about that foundation is kind of like, shit, man, that's like the last thing. They got to work. They got to feed them. They got to do this. They got to worry about other stuff. They might have family stuff.
That's why I think that women kind of like, they wait for it to fall. I think they feel like it all, by them doing everything else around the foundation, it all just falls in together.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like for men,
is it safe to say we bring the most important aspect of parenting to the table?
No, I can't say that.
I just want to test your spiciness right now.
I ain't trying to get burnt. I ain't trying to get burnt by these people, man. They burning people alive, man. I'm telling you, crazy.
Cancel culture is a motherfucker, ain't it?
I ain't getting canceled. But I think men, they just had the capability to kind of like tune out stuff, right? So like there might be so much things going on: bills, debt, your job, family, work, relationship. But they still got that ability to kind of like tune out stuff and be like, yo, listen, y'all better get y'all act together. You better go over there and do that. And you better get your shit together. And that's that alpha male I'm talking about right there. That's that alpha male I'm talking about right there.
I knew you was.
That's what it is.
I was waiting for you to say that shit. But it's funny though, because like I'll walk around his house and once again, 50-50 homie over here, right? But there's some days where it's just like, I you know what I mean? I'm all for that whole balance in the household, but there's some days, listen, I had to tell Ashley, yo, listen, this is how it's going to go and this is how it's going to be. I just need you to roll with it. But that day when he bit me, boy, I bit his ass back. He didn't know what
was Ashley there?
I don't think she was. It wasn't even like I bit him hard. I don't be biting him hard.
How scared would you have been scared? Because I know I would have been scared if I did something like that and they ran back to Ashley was like this. I would have been scared. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, you gotta relax. That's when
she about to go crazy on me.
She about to spaz on me. But that's when you don't ever let it get to that point. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying out here just beat your kids up. But what I will say is, this: I'm a firm believer, like, motherfucking karma's a bitch, and it's gonna get you. So I tell Bo all the time, like, bro, listen, if you gonna, I tell him this. I don't know if he understands. He's not gonna understand this now, but he'll understand it later. When I tell him then, if he's still acting the same, bro, listen, you better hope you got the best 1-2 connect piece in the world, because any other kid is not having this shit. I'm telling you right now.
Are you gonna be that dad that's kind of like leaning on their kids, like, yo, I'll knock your ass out?
No. I'm not. No. I'm not gonna be that dad. No, I'm not gonna step out. That's too far. That's too far for me. But what I will say is this: I will let him know, like, bro, you keep acting this way and you do this shit to somebody else's kid, they're gonna fuck you up.
When we talk about expectations, I got a great story. When I was in Japan, there's one tour. Huh? Being
in like the Asian culture, because their structure is completely different than it is in ours.
Nah, it was a black dude. He was telling me just about his son. He was like, man, I got an 18-year-old. He was like, man, I had to, either he's in the military now or he had to kick him out. And the guy was saying he's in the military. And he said, basically, he told him he had an expectation. He was like, yo, when you turn 18, you are a grown man. You got two options. It's either you move out or you go to the military, right? Or for the time being, you're going to have to get a job or you have to start paying bills in here. So he was like, man, his son didn't think he was playing around. So I remember he said, like the first maybe like 3 weeks after he turned 18, his son came in the house and he was like, yo, Pops, light ain't on in the house. He was like, yeah, lights on in the house. It's just not on in your room because when you live somewhere and you don't pay the light bill, it get turned off. So he like, man, my son really didn't understand it, man. He was just, he just didn't get it. So I think a couple weeks went by and his son came home and he realized that all his stuff was in the living room. So he was like, yo, Pops, like, what's going on, yo? He's like, son, when you live somewhere and you don't pay rent, they gonna kick you out.
You gotta get the fuck, bro.
And he told him, he was like, yo, you got like 2 months to either.
And you paying?
Like either 2 months, either you get a job, start paying, or you're gonna move out, or you're gonna go to the military.
Oh my God.
He was just saying, he's saying, man, I think maybe it was 3 years later, that day where he was telling us now, he's like, yo, my son in the military doing good, moving up the ranks, this, that, and third. And when I was hearing about it, I was like, damn, man, that motherfucker really showed him who was the man in the house. But then when I was thinking about it, I'm just like, damn, man, that's kind of tough. And, I know a lot of people have certain expectations for their kids, especially American people. And I talk about this all the time because American people always have that whole independence. They're very, very big on independence. American people are big on independence. And they're always big on like, yo, when you're 18, you kind of like a grown person, right? There's so many parents out there like, yo, when you're 18, you gotta get your job, you gotta move out. Or when you're 21, like you gotta get your own place. So you gotta doing your shit. But like, yo, in other cultures, there's niggas living with their parents 35, 40. You could never kick somebody out the house because it's kind of fucked up. Like, yo, damn, this person should be, developing and living on their own, having some type of independence. But as they, so many international people have that culture, man. You know what I mean? And maybe that might be their downfall, that they don't have so much expectations, because coming from some of these countries, they don't really have expectations. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They don't really have that whole, yo, you got to be on your own. You got to do this. It's kind of like, yo, we kind of lean on each other to live life. You know what I mean? Yeah. Exactly. To balance it out. And it's just crazy just looking at, so many expectations people have in life and the way people want people to grow and live life and have this independence or have this family. It's just crazy just how everyone talks and everyone just has different views on it. But I think it's interesting. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think, and it's great that the conversation is going this way, because I remember, shout out my Dukes, and it wasn't ever, Ramona never put me in a position where it was like, all right, nigga, you need to get your ass the fuck out, or you need to figure, you know what I mean? It was never like you
give you the military joint.
No, she ain't give me the military. And my mother did 22 years in the military. She's a U.S. She's assistant chief of the U.S. Marshals. Like she does the shebang. You know what I mean? I can't. That's the. I thank her. I'm so thankful for her. She never put me in a situation where it was like a put up or shut up moment, but she let my ass fall a couple times. So when I graduated college, so mind you, I played basketball. So my summers I could never come home and work because I was working out and getting ready for the next season and shit like that. So when I graduated college, I told her, I was like, listen, I want to ease my way into this whole adulthood shit. And she was totally fine with you know what I mean, with my decision, because every summer I was working out for basketball. Like I never had a summer. I was always in the gym training with our homeboy Malcolm. Shout out Milk. You know what I'm saying? Like I was always doing something. And this summer I could finally just sit back and just relax and enjoy my summer for a change. So she said, cool. So the day I graduated, I told her, I said, listen, I graduated my degrees in criminal justice. the drive home from West Virginia, I told her, I was like, yo, I do not want to be in the criminal justice field. Because when I graduated, that's when like shit was in the fan. Like being a cop was very, like, it's still stressful to today. It's even worse today than it was before. But like cops are getting killed. I'm like, nah, fuck that. I need to make sure I make it home. So she's like, all right, fine, you need to figure something out. So summers go by. I'm over here. I'm working at Glen Oak Country, working a basketball camp. I'm chilling. I'm going out, partying. Yeah. So then, like, I want to say, like October rolls around, and I ain't applying for no jobs, anything like that. So she knows how to fight. That's one thing about a mom, and that mom's intuition. They know how to light a fire underneath their child's ass. Any parent that's heavily involved in their child's life, they know how to light a fire underneath their ass. This was mine. So she's applying for jobs, and I'm getting emails. Like I'm waking up 20 emails deep, just she applying for jobs, and I'm like, man, this is crazy. Like I'm like, she's bullshit. So she calls me one morning. She's like, yo, I got an interview for you, UPS. So, all right, cool. She's like, it's Tuesday at 11 o'clock. You need to go there. So I drive my ass all the way. What's on the other side of Laurel? You know where that big ass UPS facility is over there? It's like right down, I think that's 95. It's right off 95.
Yeah.
So I show up. I got my polo on. I got my slacks on. I got my fucking my dress shoes on. I'm looking good. Like I'm ready to do an interview, thinking this is like a corporate job.
Yeah.
Bro, I get there. It's a group interview. It's like 30 of us in a group standing outside at the gate. So they got to buzz you in, and they bring you all back into a room. And then, so I'm sitting in the back, I'm scanning the room, and I know for a fact that I'm well overqualified for over anybody else in the room. No disrespect to them, because you know what I mean. They got to get what they got to get. But I just know I'm overqualified.
Top of the list, you top tier.
So this job, so they go through, they give you the rundown of what the job is, and it's like you need to have work boots, a back brace. So it was to become a package sorter at UPS. Ooh. I'm like, oh fuck no, bro. This is like 20 minutes into the interview. So they at the end of the interview, they pass you all this paper, and you just sitting there filling out like what your like goals and aspirations are, and they're telling you know how every company is, you got to start from the bottom. So they're like, you got to if you want to be in management, you got to start here and work your way up. I'm already checked out. I'm like spooked. I'm like, I'm in here with some ex-cons, like some whole bunch of shit. I'm like, yo, there's no way I'm not doing this. So the lady comes around, she's collecting all the papers and shit. And I'm the only one in there with a resume. So my resume is sitting flat on the table. That shit's sitting there you know what I'm saying, laminated, everything. She looks at me, she goes, you're not supposed to be here, are you? And I'm like, I don't think so. She goes, you must be trying to get the manager. And I'm like, I think I am. Bro, they called me back within like 15 minutes of like trying to get me the job. I was on the phone with my mom when they called. Like, Mom, I would never, ever work for UPS. She's like, well, I had to get you to do something. So I figured UPS was the way. And then that's when I started my sales career, and I worked at Nordstrom, and then I was in leasing, and now I am where I am now. But
let me ask you this. Do you think, let me tap into the future, right? Bo graduates. He says, yo, Pops, I don't want to do this major. You're like, all right, bet. All right. He starts doing his little, working at the camps, doing what he do. Same shit you was doing. You start to see like, yo, this nigga think it's a game. This nigga must not know what we was brought up on, right?
Right.
So you do what your mom do. You filling out applications, and they're like, some gonna hit. I know a couple people that stand at third is gonna shake, and it shake. And he like, yo, Pops, I don't even want to do this. Are you hearing that? Because I think that a nigga's not even saying that to his pops because he know that fear, right? Pops always gonna give you some type of fear, like, damn, yo, like, I either gotta do this or I gotta get fired or something. I gotta get fired to be out here. You know what I mean? Like, man, fuck. I don't know. Because I just want to act, because it's like, yo, that really, like, that's why it comes back to be like really having that father that father role, because they just instill like fear. Like even my dad, like I could never, like my dad get me a job, I'd be like, yo, Pops, I'm not doing that. But my mom's, I could do that to her. You know what I mean? I could go back home and be like, yo, Moms, I ain't doing that shit, yo. Come on, Moms. But going home to Pops.
That's the thing that I don't want. That's the one thing that I don't want to impede on my children. I don't want my children to fear me.
Gotcha.
You're gonna look at me crazy when I say this. I don't want them to fear me by telling them they want to do something. Because at the end of the day, you're a grown person. You're a grown man. You know what I'm saying? Okay, this is not what you want. This is not what you want to do. So in the meantime, because you got finances, you graduated college, your ass gonna have a student loan, just like the majority of us out here.
Yeah.
You're gonna work this job until you find you another job of your liking. Because I've had to take my due diligence. I didn't have to stay up an extra hour at night applying jobs for you to make sure you good. I'm gonna let you fall on your face, but I'm gonna be there to pick you up.
How so though, right? Because I wanna kind of explain.
So put him in my situation, right? So say UPS is the only thing that just fucking knocking. But I know his ass got student loans to pay, and I know he wants that office job, right? He wants that corporate job. Okay, cool, that's fine. Bills don't stop when you get the job you want. And you got a student loan to pay, you got bills to pay. So I would advise you as a man, I'm gonna talk to you as a man at this rate, because you're 22. I'm gonna talk to you as a man. I advise you to take this job now and find you a job while you're making money versus you telling me you don't want this job and sitting on your ass on my couch just to wait for the right job to fall in your lap. You know what I mean? Right. So for me, like, I didn't have a sales background. I worked in Nordstrom, in Columbia Mall, in the fucking kids department, looking like fucking a goober. I was my mother used to make me dress, and she used to fucking make me hate this job. I used to come into work with button-ups, khakis. I used to look like a fucking Mr. Rogers, bro. Swear to God. Ask anybody. She would never let me leave the crib dressed like just like some like cool hip style shit. It was always, I was looking like I was 45, bro. Mind you, I'm 22 and a half. To almost 23. So you're gonna do something. I don't care what it is. You know, and when I say I don't care what it is, obviously I care what it is, but what you want to do, because I know niggas will take that and run with it. What do you do? I don't want my son to be fucking Chippendales or a drug dealer. Okay, whatever. That's not what I mean. Within your skill set, you know, I don't care what you want to do. You know what I mean? If you're good with people and you want to do sales, cool. Whatever it is you want to do within that, I'm on game for it. If you have a business degree and you don't want to do business, you want to do architecture, I'm going to back you whatever you want to do, but we need to get you to where you need to go. And in the time, you gotta bring some type of chicken in for yourself, because I'm going to be there for you. I'm always going to catch you. Like, I'm 27. I'll be 28 next month.
Mm-hmm.
My mother still pays my car note.
Your mother still pay your car note?
Yeah. And
yo.
Yeah. That's crazy, right?
Yo, well, why though?
That's just how my mom is, bro.
Yo, you baby, man. You Ben Simmons. I'm calling you Ben Simmons, yo. I'm calling you Ben Simmons. You can't call me Ben Simmons. I'm calling you Ben Simmons now from on, yo. You are Ben Simmons in my phone now.
No.
Hold on. Let me ask you this. Hold on. How could you allow your mom to still do that though? And you got a good job now, right?
Yeah. How can I allow her to? It's not about me allowing her to do it. I think that what my mom is doing for me, I think what my mom is doing for me, I would do for my children. Like if my kids are in my situation right now, like
You're 28 years old with 2 kids and you're about to be married.
That's fine. Okay.
That's not fun. That's not fun.
Listen, at the end of the day, that fucking car is I'm gonna pay the rest of that car note off at the end of the month. I mean, at the end of the year. I got shit taken care of, bro.
Hold on. I know niggas is different, but you really deep down inside think that's think that's fine though?
That's okay. Call me what you want, bro. I don't care what you say. That's fine.
No. I'm asking you, do you think that's fine though?
For my mother,
you said that's fine.
I don't see if my mom is willing to do so. I don't see what the issue is behind that.
You have the money to do it. Your mom could use that money to do something else.
Yeah, but my mom is also, I think my mom is doing it out of a kind act towards me because she understands the situation I have right now. Like I wasn't making, the job that I have now, I just started. Oh, when I say just started, like within the last year, bro.
No. I know that. I'm saying coming to a point. No, I do know that. I know you weren't making good money, but what I'm saying is, to a certain point when you know you can do it, like say for example, do you know?
And that's what I'm doing, and that's what I'm getting ready to do, because I was dealing with. So, for instance, my mom put us on a one of the gifts of the baby shower was she was just buying the diapers for the babies, right?
Yeah.
And once I stepped into this role and I saw that I could manage my money and figure it out, I told her to stop. I started purchasing them myself. You know what I mean? When I'm not gonna let this shit just ride out, and you know what I mean, because my mom said she would do it. She goes, no, I'm not that type of kid. I told her. I just had this conversation with her a couple weeks ago. I said, listen, I'm gonna, because of the way this is my first full year in my job. Like the way my job ended for me, I'm pretty successful. I got a pretty, you know what I mean? I did my thing this year. I worked hard for it. I told her, listen, I'm gonna pay off my student loan. I'm gonna pay off the rest of my car note, which is still a hefty price, and I'm gonna pay the rest of the student loan, whatever you owe on it. So when it never came to a point of me being able to feel that I could take, like I can do that, I'm gonna do it. But I would never let my mom ride out and just because she's paying for it and I'm making money, I'm just going to let her keep doing it. No, that's not the goal. What I was meaning to say earlier was that I don't see an issue with a parent. For instance, me, I don't see an issue with me taking care of helping my kids out financially if I know they're working hard and I know they're trying to make ends meet. You know what I'm saying?
Isn't that living outside your means? Hold on. Isn't that living outside your means, right?
No, but it's not living outside.
It's not?
No, it's not, because we're not talking.
You can't afford it.
No, but what I'm saying is this, though, is that I'm going to make sure you have the necessities to carry on life, in the sense of like
that's any parent.
No,
but what I'm saying is living outside your means is getting something that you can't afford.
That's not living outside of your means. Because
that's not living outside your means.
My mom, I didn't. First of all, before you raise your voice, first of all, I didn't pick the car out that I have now that my mom bought. So I really didn't have a say into that whole situation. My mom knew that I was getting ready to move to California. She said that she was like, "You're going to need you're going to need a new car because the car you have is just not going to last." I got a car. I started an entry-level job with Enterprise. She was paying it over. I transferred. So then in the midst of me living out there and she's still paying that note, I'm working at Enterprise. I'm for California living, I'm making close to shit.
Yeah.
Okay. So she's taking care of me in the sense that I have a means to get to work. You know what I mean? Like a point A to point B type situation. It was never like I didn't pick out like my car. She found a car. It just so happened she knew what I like and she found something that could fit within the price range, whatever. So now in the midst of that, I have kids. So in the midst of that, I come back here, I don't work for 2 months. Okay, cool. And then I go back to work and I'm making even way less than what I was making out there. You see what I'm saying? So if I can see that you're just, and it's not really living out of your means, I'm going to give my kids a way of transportation, whether motherfuckers like it or not. If you can sit here and say that they living outside of their means if you want to, that's fine. I'm okay with that. But I know that I wouldn't be able to sleep at night if I knew that my child had to catch the bus to go to work when I knew that I could help them out in that sense. And I know that they're busting ass trying to make ends meet. That's not living out of your means. Living out of your means is my mom's paying my note and I'm over here buying all this like designer shit, all this outlandish shit when I can use that money and pay this car note off. That's living out of your means. But if it's sense that I'm just doing enough just to get by in life and my mom's willing to help me out, I don't see what the problem is in that. whatever. Call me Ben Simmons, whatever y'all want. That's fine. But like I said, I know for a fact when it comes to my kids, and I see them physically working hard, and I know they're busting their ass to be successful in life. I'm going to help you along the way. If I can help pay one of your bills to make it life a little bit easier for you, I'm going to do that.
I think it's a great scenario because my homegirl she always says this one statement. She always says, you can't blame me for my parents being great and being there for me.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and that's the fucked up part about life is that motherfuckers always like, oh, well, you soft, you grew up in a great neighborhood. Motherfucker, I didn't actually be born into this shit. This is just what my parents did, and this is what my parents instilled in me. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, you can sit here and call me. You can say that I'm being baby, but at the end of the day, my mom knows for a fact that I'm taking care of my shit, and if she's able to help, that's the key. If she's able to help me out, she's going to do it. And it's the same way I'm going to be with these two. If I know, say Cassidy, God forbid, she gets pregnant at an early age, and I know she's busting her ass, and I know she still needs help, I'm going to give her help. That's not babying her. That's just assisting her to become an adult. Like, things happen in life. You know what I mean? You're not gonna, I know damn well you or Jabs are not gonna let Nova Rose be in a situation where she's working hard, she's doing it, her head's on straight, she's trying to do a thing, and she needs help with a student loan or needs help with a car note. Y'all not just gonna tell her, well, shit, if you can't pay for it, you don't need it. You can't have it. No, because nobody wants that for their child.
So to go on that, it all depends on you putting yourself in what position, right? So for example, you put yourself in that position, right? It wasn't something that randomly happened. It wasn't something that was like, oh my God, one hidden night, like, damn, yo, like, shit, Shane's pregnant now. I just got to do what I got to do. Like, you put that on yourself to move across the country, right? And your parents decided to say, yo, I'm willing to help you.
Is that babying?
I never said it was babying. I just said
that's what you said earlier, though. You said it was babying because my mom paid.
I think you definitely Ben Simmons, hands down. That's just my opinion. Right. But I think it all comes down to like the whole situation about helping Nova Rose or helping whoever. I think it's all about the situation you put yourself in, right? If you put yourself in that situation, then we're gonna have a talk and say, listen, this is life, right?
But you're not gonna let your kid fall on her ass. That's what I know.
I'm not gonna let her fall on her ass, but I can't baby her. Right?
So like I said, in a sense right now, right? So Nova Rose moves across the country.
First of all, we're having that talk. You're not moving across the country just to move across the country. And I'm going out my way to be like, yo, here's this, here's that. Like, hold on. If you want to move across the country, let's save up some money. Then you can move across the country.
Okay.
But
so
I can't
have that conversation.
Have
that conversation. Okay. So she doesn't have a car. So your daughter she saved enough money to go across the country. She wants that deal. You're going to send her out there with nothing?
She's not going across the country without a car, bro. You got to listen, for me, this is what I'm saying. The same thing my mom, my dad's going to do. You're not going anywhere if you don't actually have the things to do it.
So you're not going to assist her at all with her getting that car?
Just to move across the country, we're going to buy you a car? No, but this is my thing too. We got to, like I said, we got to know the reason, right? If you're telling me, yo, dad, there is this acting school, it's 1 out of a million. There's this basketball school, it's 1 out of a million. It's this job that's 1 in a million. We're going to make it work, right? But if you telling me we're going to just move, like, let's slow down.
Okay, so she says she's moving to, I moved across the country because, well, besides the fact of Ashley, right?
Okay.
Besides the fact of Ashley.
Yeah.
Enterprise has one of the
Stop it,
no,
man.
it's not.
Stop
No, it's not. No,
Stop it, man.
no,
Stop it. I gotta stop you.
No,
I gotta stop you,
me.
man.
No, let me finish. You can't stop me because Ramona was not just going to let me move out there on some just random job type shit. For one. Number two, after doing my research and figuring out that where I wanted to be, where I am right now, I had to go through that management program that I was in to get to where I was at, because a lot of sales companies hire people from Enterprise. I knew I had to go. I knew before I left, along with Ashley being there, y'all can believe whatever the fuck y'all wanted to say. I knew that San Diego is one of the best regions in the country for that company. So it was my job. I couldn't just go out there and work some tech job and just sit at a desk making $50,000 and praying to sell come through. I had to have some type of plan. It's just I just ended up getting pregnant along the way. So is that does not assist for us to make it work, or is that just being baby?
To me, it's hard to believe. The reason why I say that is because when we talked about you moving, right? Because I was one of the people you talked to, right? I never heard that plan. I can't. That's why I'm saying it's hard for me to believe.
If for those that know Ramona, I was applying to a bunch of bullshit jobs. I was trying to do leasing, a bunch of whole other shit. I remember I almost took a job working at I was trying to get a job working at a fucking gym just to get the fuck out there. She didn't let me leave until I actually got a solidified job, a Fortune 500 company job. You can actually, I could call her right now. She can give you that same exact story. She can, that's my alibi.
And Ramon is on the same page as me. But like I said with you, you didn't have a plan. You were just applying to jobs. You're validating my statement. Your mom's what you want to plan.
But I feel attacked because you call me Ben Simmons when I had a plan.
You are Ben Simmons, man.
How?
Come on, man.
I had a plan.
Simmons, man. You light skin, man. That you automatically Ben Simmons.
Oh, because I'm light skin. All right, okay. So that's the real reason. Okay, that makes more sense. Because
if you was dark skin, I couldn't call you Ben Simmons.
Okay,
I couldn't call you Kyrie. I would have to call you Kyrie.
Let's not bring politics into this shit. So now that I know the real reason, because like now it's like I wasn't able to. I was applying to work in this jobs. I
think it's a great story. I think it's a great viewpoint. Because like I said, my homegirl, she says this all the time. She like, even when she goes out with her parents, she's always like, yo, my parents pay for me for dinner. And she always says, yo, don't knock me for my parents having been well off. Like,
I give you a prime example. And I've never been a type to just like not show appreciation to my mom. I'd never forget this fucking day. I was working at Nordstrom. I saved up enough money. I bought my mother a $500 gift card to go to Nordstrom. I was making I was making prison money basically. And when I walked in the crib and gave her, she was actually mad that I gave her that shit, bro.
Yeah, because she probably on the same shit like, yo, why the fuck you do that? I got enough money to do that. Nigga, save your money and do some other shit.
And not necessarily, kind of that was her way. But she's one of those people that you can't really do. Like, she doesn't want people to do. She's one of those fierce, independent women. And my mom, she was a leader of like 20 something men at the Pentagon at one point in time. Like, my mom was a boss, so she don't ask for men for shit.
Yeah.
So when I came in with it, she was like, "Why are you giving this to me?" Like, you need to use this to get you this. You know what I'm saying? And that just speaks to how my mom is. So when I see those acts of like, no, take care of yourself, I'm good. Like that's what makes me say today, now that I'm above average, I can say that, hey mom, I'm gonna pay off the rest of my car. But at the end of this year, that's one less bill. I'm gonna pay my student loan off, and then next quarter, whatever's left on the student loan, I'm gonna take care of that for you. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Now, if I would be fucking wrong if I sat here making all this fucking money and I just let, you know what I'm saying, I just let shit ride out and she's still paying my car note. You know what I'm saying? But I have certain shit lined up to where I can make sure that we're all taken care of. I never was one to let my mom, just because she could do something for me, and I was never gonna let her keep doing it. No. But it also passes down to my kids. I'll never let them. if you're passionate enough about doing something, I'm gonna make sure you have everything you need to make it happen. That's just me, flat out. If you call it baby, call it whatever it is, but you got to have a plan, like you said. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to have you want to move. Okay, where are you working at? Are you working at fucking Foot Locker, or are you going to move and work at, you know what I'm saying? If you big dog shit, you know what I'm saying? What is your goal? Like, what, you know what I mean? We're going to have that conversation. If you're just trying to move just to move, and I know I went to Glen Oak Country School, bro. There's a lot of kids that just move. And the parents pay the whole fucking rent.
Yeah.
Give them money, smoke dope all day.
Like, and they in halfway houses.
Basically. And that's why I could never really get on that level with those with my peers, because I came from the other side. I came from the other side of the railroad, if you will. Like I came from not a broken home, but I came from a single family household. My mom was take care of everybody's kids, you know what I'm saying, getting me where I needed to go. So I saw that in her, and I appreciate everything she's done for me. So now that I'm able to do so, I'm gonna pay her back, of course. That's just me.
Yeah. No, I think it's great, man. Like I said, you know, just hearing more and more about it, yo, I just think about, like I said, shout out to Jordan, man. She's always I don't even know if her ass listen. I ain't heard from her ass in a while about but she says the same shit too, yo. Same stuff all the time. She always like, yo, don't knock me with my parents.
Yo, that is the worst shit. Yo, I hate when people do that shit, bro. It's like, oh,
I think it's just like, I think it's just off of so many people, and it might just be the American thing or whatever. You know, when you get
talk about it from like your peer standpoint, though. Like you've always ran into homies that maybe didn't have everything that we had, but they're like envious of us. Or even now, like for those people who got it just who have a good job, but those who are doing better than those people, they're like, oh, you changed and you did, you know.
I think we look at it as a way of like, I feel like it's, I don't know, spoiled. Maybe that might be one of the ways, because I think we also look at when you get to a certain age, you are somewhat like independent, like you can actually take care of yourself, right? I think that's kind of everyone in some aspect of like, hey, if I get to this age and I know you're this age, we know if we're all in this room that, hey, we can take care of ourselves. But if someone else is taking care of you, it's kind of like, all right, nigga, like, are you babied or can you take care of yourself? And I think that's how we look at it. I think all of us do. You know what I mean? Because like, think about it, Lawrence, right? Just like think on another viewpoint. Say, for example, a nigga was like, yeah, like my parents, like they watch the kids. I don't really watch them at all. Are you going to think less of this nigga as like, are you a parent? And he said some shit like, put a kid to bed? My mom does that all the time. Or like potty train? It's like, my dad does that.
It depends on the situation. In general sense, like if I know the story and I know that, like, you know what I'm saying?
No, you don't know the story.
I don't know the story.
Yeah, a nigga's just saying it. Like I said, we all in a room, right? We're all a certain age, and niggas is like, all right, yo, you can handle it. And you're like, no, but X, Y, and Z, my mom does this. A nigga's gonna be like, he doesn't know you, he's gonna think you baby. And that's why I was saying, like, look at it this end. A nigga's telling you, we're all in a room, we all have kids, like we're in a room, 10 people, we all have kids, and then a dude is like, change diapers. I don't change diapers. Mom does that, and niggas like, yo,
I'm inquisitive. I'm the worst person to ask that question because I always ask why. I always got to know. There has to be a reason.
He tells you. He's like, yo, my mom, my dad live with me. That's the reason why. So they usually just take on anything.
I give you one shot. I'm gonna look at you crazy, but I'm gonna look at you crazy after I ask why. Because I got to know, like, you're not really changing numbers. Oh, well, what's going on? So, like, I'm gonna.
My mom's there. He tells you that. He's like, yo, my mom is there. Like,
that's what I'm saying. I'm gonna give you that one chance. I'm gonna ask you, like, what is prohibiting you from spending that?
My mom does it for me. She says it.
I'm gonna look at you like you're fucking crazy. I'm like, yo, that's crazy.
My point exactly, my G. That's right. A nigga,
but I'm saying, I'll ask why first before I look at you crazy.
I got you, but guess what? At the end of the day, you looked at him crazy. But if you really asking, he's like, yo, how you gonna knock me for my mom being able to take care of her grandchild? You feel me? How you gonna knock me? You feel me? Her grandma took care of me. My grandma took care of me growing up. How you gonna knock me? But look, we gonna walk back to the car and you drink it. You gonna be like, man, that nigga a gump. He ain't a real father. You gonna say that shit. You gonna be like, this nigga don't even know what diaper dad is. That's exactly what you gonna say. I know you. You gonna be like, look, we the real MVP, Shane. Like, niggas out here don't even take care of their kids. So that's why I say we gotta look at it at different viewpoints. That's why when you said it and you started explaining it, I'm like, yo, this shit is actually great, because I know a lot of people. It's kind of like me. They be like, yo, you baby. But then there's other people that be like, how you going to knock me for having a great mom?
And that's what I tell people. Like, when people look at me crazy, like when I tell people that shit, like I don't really discuss finances with people. You know,
yeah, people take shit. Yeah, that's like politics with people.
Yeah, I don't really discuss finance, but I will say that, you know what I'm saying, my mother helps me along the way, and that's fine. And you know what?
You can't knock you for having a great mom. You can't.
And that's exactly. So when people ask me those I don't even know why I felt like I was fucking being attacked. I was a little soft. My apologies. That ain't me. Because usually I tell people when people ask me, bro, people can't. One thing I learned about life is that, yo, this shit is so fucking flimsy. Like, you literally write your own story. Anything can happen to you. And I just come to terms with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, who said I was going to meet somebody in Vegas and get engaged still and have a set of twins and move to California for it? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's so much of life than worrying about what the next motherfucker's doing. Like, oh, well. But what I will say is this. I think because we hold ourselves to a standard of, like, dads, that's like, bro, you oh, wait, what? You're not making bottles? Oh, yeah. You're not letting your girl lead the crib. You're not letting your girl go on girls trips and shit, but you can go everywhere you want to go. Yeah. Oh, bro, we talk about that shit all the time. I always tell Ashley, that's why I always remind Ashley, do what you want to do.
Exactly.
With some husband, because she's going through this whole thing right now, but like, her bachelorette party, like, she wants to have all girls there, and the girls are like, some of her homegirls, I gotta ask my husband, I'm like,
that's normal though. Niggas is different. Some niggas is jealous.
But what I'm saying, there's no knock to their relationships at all. No, not at all.
Everyone has different relationship, and that shit works for them. That's it.
Exactly. And but what I'm saying is, though, is that, like, I always remind Ashley about our relationship. I'm like, bro, do what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to go, because I see what you do around here, go. But I know there's some dudes out there that's probably like, nah, you in the crib, this is what you're doing, you raise kids, and I do whatever I want. That's why I always remind her, like, yo, you do a lot. When she was like, can I go? Go. Bye. I always tell her I should probably revert it. I always tell her I don't care. That's a insensitive statement. I should probably just say, like, yes, feel free. Like, something else along the lines. Because sometimes I feel like she thinks that I really don't care, but I actually do. I just don't care the fact that you want to go. I want you to have the liberty to go do shit like that. So, you know.
Nah, but listen, guys, this was actually really good. I'm glad we touched on that last part. That might be the title. Not because I got a great mom, yo.
You gonna knock me from my upbringing? That's
come
crazy.
on, man.
And that's why I always tell people, like, yo, what, you gonna knock me because you gonna be mad at me because they decided to have a child and I so happen came out and I so happen got put in a situation where I'm living good. That's crazy.
Yeah. You never know the story behind everyone, but you can knock someone for being successful.
And that's the thing, is that, like, I work like that's one thing I will always have about me. That's one attribute about me that I pride myself on. I work like I ain't got shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's the most cliche shit, but that's the God's honest truth. Anyone I've ever worked for, I've always been busting my ass trying to make shit right. You know what I'm saying? So Doesn't matter about my upbringing. It's just like prime example. Fucking in Coach Carter when homie transferred and everybody was like, look, Fresh Prince of fucking Bel Air, he's walking around with shirt ties and shit. And he was out there cooking niggas.
Yeah.
So
barbecue chicken.
that's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? So there's some people out there who live that life and they're just very pish posh about shit. And their parents did. That's just how they were raised, and that's totally fine. I won't be around you, but that's totally fine. So,
well, guys, man, we gave it to you. This was a great one. If y'all motherfuckers didn't like this, I don't know what y'all like. Seriously, man. Honestly, take it away on them, man.
Thank you guys, everyone out there listening, watching, tuning in. We appreciate your love and support. Once again, Diaper Dad.